Hey everyone, it's that time of year again. It's tax filing season. So not only do we Canadians have to file our general taxes with the CRA by April 30th, it's also the deadline for those of us who own a home here in the city of Toronto to file our vacant home tax declaration with the city, revealing the occupancy status of our homes in the prior tax year. I'll give you a brief overview of the vacant home tax, how much it could cost you, what the exemptions are, fortunately there are many, but most importantly, what you can do in a real estate transaction to protect yourself from paying it when purchasing a home and handle it right as a seller too. You don't want to be vacant from this video. So let's get to it. Hey everybody, Steve Mitchell, Realtor here in Toronto. I hope you're doing well and that you survived what was a record-smashing Toronto winter. It was just awful. You can look it up. We broke a number of records. The resulting potholes that are now being revealed are sure to break your car's suspension as well. Brutal. Okay, the vacant home tax, or VHT. This applies to nearly all homes in the city of Toronto. So 416 only here, no Mississauga, Durham, York, none of that, just Toronto. Tax years 2022 and onward. The idea, if one can call it that, was to gently encourage homeowners to either live in their homes or rent them out. Now, this is where my thinly veiled sarcasm and opposition to this tax on principle and practicality stop, and a sober analysis of what it actually is begins. Disclaimer, I'm not a tax professional, an accountant, or anything else, but please consult one or the City of Toronto's website listing the details of the vacant home tax. But here's some basics. If you lived in your Toronto home as your principal residence, a townhome, condo, doesn't matter, as your principal residence for at least 6 months of the prior tax year, you owe no VHT, nothing. If you didn't live there as your principal residence, but you rented it out to a tenant, or it was occupied by family or friends as their principal residence for enough time of the year, you owe nothing. If the property was vacant for 6 months or more and doesn't qualify for any of the numerous exemption situations, you probably owe the city quite a bit. How much, you ask? Well, since the 2024 increase in the VHT, you could owe as much as 3% of your current value assessment. That's huge. $1 million assessed home, which is not at all uncommon in the city of Toronto, could have you on the hook for 30 grand each year it's deemed vacant. That's half a new car these days. Big money. The good news is there are quite a few exemptions that get you out of paying the VHT, even if you didn't live in your home enough that year. Like, you're a snowbird or other extended traveler. You're usually exempt. You're away from your home because of a medical condition, including being admitted to a care facility, usually exempt. You have to move out because you're doing major renovations. Stop that hammering! I'm trying to make a video here. Lastly, you die, and you're exempt for up to 3 years. Isn't the tax department so compassionate? One less thing to worry about in the afterlife, I guess. That's the VHT basics. Now, how do you protect yourself from a bad VHT surprise in the middle of a sale? Well, generally it's the buyers who need the most protection, and rather than seller, but I'll get to them in a minute. For my buyer clients, I make sure we insert a clause to the effect of this. The seller warrants that they have filed the necessary declaration with the City of Toronto regarding the vacant home tax, and further warrants that no VHT was payable for the current declaration year. The seller agrees to provide proof on or before closing that either no VHT was payable or the seller has paid the total amount, including any amounts owing from prior years. Now, if you're a seller client of mine, rather than a clause in the deal, I'd simply recommend that you get caught up. Ensure that you filed not only the most recent tax years, but all VHT declarations going back to 2022 or however long you've owned the house. That way, the buyer's clause won't trip you up. Further, you should be sure that for any year that you filed, going all the way back to 2022, where you relied on making a claimed exemption for the VHT, that you have received confirmation that they accepted, the city has accepted that exemption, and that you got backup that shows the proof of your claim, whether it's receipts from a care home, documents from a building contractor, whatever it is for your particular exemption. That will really make you airtight and have nothing to worry about. I hope that answers all questions you may have had or may not even have known you had about Toronto's vacant home tax. I can handle it properly for your house purchase or sale. Reach out to me with any questions. and let's make your next real estate experience remarkable.